I'll be very pleased to share with you a tale that perhaps might not be so useful now, as clearly Almighty God smiles upon our efforts. But the Farmer's Almanac, which never lies, as to forecasting the weather, has suggested that we might have some rain in our near future. Hence this tale, which I myself will hear next year from the lips of Dr. Franklin. What occasions it is we will adjourn the Congress for the day at Carpenter's Hall, and in that short distance to the city tavern, where I and a number of other gentlemen are taking our lodgings, we will be greeted with the most unexpected downpour of rain. All of us saturated by the time we finally get to the tavern. When we go within, there's a blazing fire in the public dining room, and one of our company suggests, gentlemen, rather than simply retiring above stairs and changing into dry clothing, let us gather here before this splendid fire, dry ourselves together, and engage in genteel conversation for a change. This after the day's congressional deliberations have concluded. So there we all are gathered before the fire, when behind us we hear a chuckling. We turn to see the source of it, and there stands old Franklin, who begs our pardons, but says, "But gentlemen, I cannot help but be somewhat amused at this spectacle of you all huddled before the fire as you are, for it recalls to me something that occurred to me in my early years." He then shares it with us. I do so now for you, with the hope that if at least you don't find it amusing, you might find it useful one day, if you yourselves might be seeking a warm and dry place. It seems that many years ago, Dr. Franklin was riding along a country lane. It was very late at night, very dark, very cold, a freezing rain. He was soaked to the skin. All he could think of for some miles was to get to a warm place and drink a hot toddy, or 6 or 7. Well, finally he comes to a crossroads where there is a tavern. He goes within, and to his great mortification discovers that it seems almost every other man in the county has the same idea as he. There's a blazing fire, to be sure, but it's packed 6 deep. He can't get anywhere close to it, even to dry his frozen hands. So there he stands to the rear of the pack, all a-shivering and such, when after a time the innkeeper enters into the chamber. And Franklin says to him, "Begging your pardon, sir, begging your pardon, but I should wish a room for myself and for my horse this evening, if you please, sir." "Very well, sir," says the innkeeper. "We're pleased to accommodate you." "Furthermore," says Franklin, "I've been thinking of nothing else for miles but that of a hot toddy and a large plate of steaming oysters, if you will be so kind, sir." "Very well, sir," says the innkeeper. "We'll bring them forth directly." So after some time, the innkeeper returns. He presents to Franklin the hot toddy, and then presents this very large platter of steaming oysters. Whereupon Franklin says, in a very loud voice, so that the whole room can hear him, "Oh, you mistake me, sir, you mistake me. The oysters, while very fine indeed, mark you, are not for me. They're for my horse. Will you kindly deliver this fine plate of steaming oysters out to the stables and see that my horse is presented them?" "What, sir," says the innkeeper, "do you mean to tell me that your horse eats of oysters?" "Oh, aye, sir, aye. Very fond indeed he is of them, too. Most remarkable thing. You've never seen anything like this in all your days, man, but within a matter of moments that plate of oysters shall be gone." "Very well, sir. I'll naturally do as you command me," says he, and so out he proceeds towards the stables, followed by that room full of men by the fire, who had also never before seen oysters and wished to take that opportunity so to do. So now you see Franklin's all alone. He wends his way over to the fireplace and finds the most comfortable chair, takes his ease, begins to enjoy his hot toddy in great comfort and style, when after a very brief spell, amidst the general hubbub, return the innkeeper and all these men. And the innkeeper approaches and says, "Begging your pardon, sir, but I presented these oysters to your horse as you directed me, and, well, he'd have none of them. Indeed, he turned his nose up at them." "Oh, yes," says Franklin, "yes. He does that from time to time, rascal. Well, here, just give them to me. I'm certain I'll enjoy them now." Quite the fellow.